In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these prints. These are 3-layer prints, and you just use one piece of paper. And to create these looks, I used plants, I used grasses, pieces of string, rubber bands, and masks that I cut out of pieces of cardboard. And you can create these really funky abstract looks. So let's dive into the video, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Hi, I'm Jenna McLean, printmaker, and it's my goal with this channel to teach you how to become a better printmaker yourself. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll show you how to get your hands on my free gel printing supply list. For the first layer of paint, we want to start with a lighter color. So I've got some pastels here, some pinks and blues, a lilac and a yellow. I also have some metallic paints that I think will be really pretty. This is from a set, and I think that these might be too dark. These lighter ones may work, but I can also use this metallic white and mix them with some of these darker ones to get a lighter shade. So that's something that I may do. If you want to use a paint color like this, an intense purple, and you want to make it look not so intense, the best thing that you can do is mix it with matte medium. Matte medium is essentially acrylic paint with no color in it, and it will make this much lighter and it will make it transparent. So I'll do an example with that. First, I'm going to roll out some of this pale pink with a little bit of the lilac. And what I'm creating right now are background papers. I'm just going to roll out paint all over the plate, put down a sheet of either printmaking paper or deli paper. I'm going to do the pull, and I'm going to create a stack of background papers. And I'll show you how I'm doing the first one. Just going to mix these colors up a little bit and use my big roller. I'm going to take a sheet of regular printmaking paper. I'm going to lay it down here. You don't have to let the paper sit there for a long time. You can just do the pull. This paint is still very wet, and it left some grunge here. I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to continue to build on top of it. I think I'll lay down a little bit of blue and perhaps some of this metallic silver and roll this out. We have a nice blend of the silver and the blue and the lilac. I'm going to take a sheet of deli paper this time. I'll do the pull. Oh, this is so pretty. Very romantic, dreamy looking pale print. I'm going to put this gold colored metallic paint right on top of this. I'm curious to see what happens. I have a sheet of regular printmaking paper here. I'm just going to rub it and do the pull. We don't need to let this paper sit here and completely dry. We're just trying to lift up some of the paint and get it on the paper. Oh gosh, that is really pretty. This is going to make a really nice print. Now I'm going to take some of this dark purple and lighten it up with the matte medium. I went to the grocery store the other day. I bought some chicken breasts that came in this really sturdy plastic tray, so I decided to keep it for mixing paint. Putting in quarter-size chunk of matte medium here, mixing it. This still looks a little bit too intense. Let's make it lighter. Let me put a little dab of it on here and see what happens. Okay, that's much better. It's very transparent. Okay, I think we're good to go here. It looks very dark here, but once you start to brayer it out, it looks a lot thinner. I'm going to put down some of this silver, maybe a little bit of this bronzy color, even though it's on the dark side. I'm going to just put just a little bit on there, and I'm going to put some of this on here too. This is a little on the dark side. Not sure if this is going to work, but we'll give it a shot. And I'm going to make some more, and I will be speeding up the tape. Here are the background papers that I've created. I have some in the lilac family, the blue, the yellow, the gold. I decided to do some with the green. And so these are going to be our background papers, and these are with the light colors. Now we're going to our second layer. And one of the things that you need to have for your second layer are things that are thin, things that are stringy. I just went outside and clipped these weeds. We want to create thin lines on the gel plate. So I have these. I have some twine. You could use rubber bands, anything that creates kind of a very thin line on the gel plate. That's what we're going to use in our second layer. And we're also using dark paint. So by dark, I mean black. We can go with a deep Prussian blue, maybe this purple, Payne's gray, some raw umber. We could even mix some of these together, but we want to go with dark colors. So let's start doing some pulls. Here is some carbon black from Amsterdam. I'm just going to squeeze it out. And now I'm going to start pressing some items into the paint. I think I'll start with some of this twine. This is from Wisteria. Maybe I'll put that there. Some more string. And I'm going to take this print, I'm going to place it face down, and I'm going to rub. I'm letting my fingers rub against the plant material and the rubber bands and the twine, and also the areas where those things are not. I'm trying to pick up as much paint as possible on this piece of paper. And here's what we want. We wanted these lighter colors now to pop up through the black. This looks terrific. I'm going to do another one. Actually, since there's still paint on here, I think I'm going to put this piece of deli paper on and see if I can't lift up the black. And I'm letting my fingers go in between the holes, which is much easier to do with deli paper than it is with regular printmaking or copy paper. And here you have this look. So I'm going to continue to make more prints just like this. I'll be speeding up the camera and you can see what I do. This time I'm going to put a stencil down. I'm deliberately choosing a stencil that has a lot of thin lines on it. So let's do it like this. And I think I'll use this print. What I've done with this second layer of paint, I deliberately wanted to have my lines going in different directions. For instance, this is very rounded and swirly and curly. That's fine. Then with this kind of look, we have lines going every which way. And this we have more of straight lines, but slightly at an angle. So I deliberately created these background papers to have a different appearance. And we can now move on to the third layer where we're going to use light colored paint and masks. Now, these prints here, these are terrific. You could leave these just as they are. This is a gorgeous print. You could frame this, you could use this in collage, but I'm going to show you a way to take this print and make it look completely different. And with the third layer, we're using a very light color, whites with maybe a little bit of color mixed in. And we're going to use masks. And a mask can be anything that blocks something. Plants can be used as masks. And here are some masks that I cut out of manila folders. And I have another video here on the channel in which I discuss masks. I showed how I made these and how I made some prints with these. So I will link that in the description below this video. I'm going to take some of my white paint. I'm going to mix in a little silver and just a little bit of blue, not too much, because we want this layer to be nice and light. And now I'm going to put down some masks. So I'm just going to lay these down any which way. These were inspired by a Matisse exhibit I saw at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And if you've never worked with masks before, you'll see why they're called masks in just a second. I think that's good. And then I'm going to take this paper here, and I'm going to place it down here, and I'm going to rub it. And let's see how we're doing here. And here we go. And this is why these are called masks. They masked the white paint from getting onto the paper. And this is how you get this multi-layered look. This time I'm going to put down some white. I'm going to put in a little bit of green and a little bit of yellow as well, just to spice it up a little bit. And for masks, this time I think I'm going to lay down some of these plants. And I think I'll put this print on top. I was working with a registration tool before. I decided to put it away because these things are falling over the edge. That's okay. These may not be perfectly registered, but you'll get the idea. So the plants are preventing the white paint on the plate to come in contact with the paper, which is why they're called masks. Ah, there we go. And so we have the string that we put on here first, then we have the black layer, and then we have the lighter color layer on top. And this is still sheer, this top layer of white paint. You can still see the string running through there. Let's move on to the next ones, and I may speed up the video a little bit. All right, here are some of the prints I made, and I'm not going to lie, some of these I really loved and some of them were real duds. These are the ones that I like. This turned out well. I think this did. This is a good one. I really like this one, and I like this one. These, however, I do not like. And I said, well, maybe there's a way I can salvage these. I think there is. I'm a block printer, so I got some of the blocks out that I have carved, and I got block printing ink, and I decided to block print on top of one of these duds. This one looked just as bad as this. So let's try this on another one. If you have a stamp set or if you have blocks, you might want to try this in case some of your results aren't the greatest, like with mine. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take my block printing ink. I'm going to roll some of it out here. It's thicker than the acrylic paint that we use on the gel plate. And I'm just going to ink up this block. And I carved these from real plants. I collected plants outside, I pressed them, and I made blocks from them. And so I'm going to put them down in areas where there's already white and it looks kind of pathetic, which is right here, to see if we can't salvage this. I suppose I could paint over it with gouache or another paint. You could tear some of these pieces out and use them for collage, but I'm trying to see if I can salvage these prints. That's a little bit better. I'll ink up this little guy and put him right here. I think this is starting to look a little bit more attractive than it was. And I'm going to continue to play with this off camera and see what happens if I add more colored inks with my block prints. So this is one of the ways that you can salvage one of these if it doesn't work out. I hope you've enjoyed this video about how to create these gorgeous abstract prints with 3 layers of paint on one piece of paper. If you'd like to get my free gel print supply list, there is a link in the description below this video. Just click on it and this will be sent to you right away. It's about 10 pages long. It's really a booklet, and in it I go over all of the supplies I use, the gel plates, the brayers, the papers, the kind of paints that I use. It's really a very handy supply list to get your hands on, so you can click the link below. And I also teach a gel print course, an online gel printing course. It's perfect for people who've just gotten started with gel printing, or maybe you're further along your journey. It is jam-packed with ideas. I teach you how to use stencils, masks, how to do image transfers with magazine photos or photos from books, how to make your own foam stamps. It's just chock full of information. So there's also in the description below this video a link for the wait list. If you'd like to get on the wait list for the course, just click on that, add your name, and you'll be notified the next time I'm offering the course. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in more gel printing videos in the future.